Lord is the one that puts that spirit on us to continue. Even if our flesh wants to stop, it gets weak. That's why Yahushua said, watch ye and pray, for your flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, man. You know, if it was up to the spirit, we can keep going on and on and on and on forever. But the flesh is what gets hurt and destroyed. You know, if that lion was able to, he would continue to fight. But because he got that certain wound, it disabled him. You know, he may have bled out. He may have just got a deadly wound, to not a deadly wound, but he had a wound severe enough to where he had to stop. You know, but that's not the case, man. The Most High puts that spirit on us to continue to push. It says, 2 Thessalonians 3:7, for yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we behave not ourselves disorderly among you. See, we didn't behave ourselves disorderly among you. You know, we ain't out there, you know, causing a ruckus and causing havoc out here in our cities and things of that nature, our homes and stuff like that. You know, we're doing we're doing exactly what the scriptures say, man, to the best of our ability. You know, and we ain't setting a bad example to brothers, man. You know, we're doing exactly what we're taught by the Spirit, man. Some brothers are more you know, laid back, but some brothers are more are austere. You know, serious. Not saying that the brother that is more laid back is not serious minded, but you got brothers that are just more on that level, man. You know, of forwardness. You know, but we all in this thing. We all have to find balance. You know, and utilize both ends. You know, forwardness, gentleness. Know when we have to apply it and when not to apply it. You know, but we not, like I said, it says, for yourselves know how you ought to follow us, because you know how you ought to follow us. All those brothers doing the same thing, man. We're walking the same pattern, man. So nobody has an excuse to say, well, this is why I can't go out in the highways and the byways. You know, all those brothers are doing the same thing. You see, every camp, we're all doing the same thing. We got the 12 tribe sign, we got the garments, we got our scriptures, the Apocrypha. We're going out to the highways and the byways, especially with GMS, you know. You all know how you ought to follow him, man. Like I said, 1 Timothy 5:5, likewise ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. See, submit yourselves to the elder, man. You younger, man. A lot of guys don't want to do that, and that's fine, because you're not going to be in it. The Lord ain't going to use you or deal with you. You have to be humble when you come into this, man. You have to be humble, and you have to be humble, and you have to receive instruction by the men that are out in the highways and the byways, whether you like it or not. We're not at a job where the job says, oh, well, you know, I had to listen to him, but I don't have to like you. I don't have to like you because you're my boss, but I'll do what you say. No, we ain't playing that shit out here. We don't play that shit. This is brotherly love, man. You love every brother, whether he's in the wrong or not. You have to love that brother, man. Okay? Up to a point, certain degree, scripture say, be at peace with all men. Don't get me wrong. But we're not playing that shit. Well, I don't like that brother, man. But I'll listen to what he says, but I don't like him. Or he don't talk to me the way I think he needs to talk to me. I ain't gonna do what he tells me to do. No, you don't play that shit. We don't do that shit. That's plain. I'm gonna read that again. Likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. See, some brothers are younger than me that are considered an elder. And guess what? I have to obey them because they're an elder. Not because of what the brothers say, is because what the scriptures say. I know what to be reborn again means, man. and what the gray hair, what how age is determined. Okay. And let's say that a brother that is older than a younger brother that has the older man has more wisdom. He's been through more things like outside outside of the truth, you know. But when he came into the truth, he gained a lot of information. That doesn't mean that he's equal or below or above that brother. That brother is set up to be that specific head or leader. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be followed as is. It's all about humbleness in this thing, man. It's not about being proud and high-minded. That's what people are doing in the world, fighting, competing for positions and fighting and you know, stabbing each other in the back to get these positions to gain worldly lust. It's not like this in this truth, man. David said, you know, it's better. I'd rather be a doorkeeper in my father's house. And it's true. You know, the guy that the two sons was in Luke 16, the two sons that one of them wanted all his substance and fled and used it all on harlots, and he started eating the shit that the pigs and the swine ate. That he came to the realization, like, hey man, in my father's house, even the servants have enough to eat, man. You know? Motherfuckers out here want to try to be on top and be top notch. You know? It is all going to be just temporary, man. Because Esau is your daddy, you know, pertaining to you bitch ass 2/3, you fucking sellouts. Your daddy's going to lose it all, man. You know, that's why we're seeking a kingdom that's everlasting, man. You know? that is of full strength. The earth is going to be at full strength. The fruits, the herbs, everything, the beautiful, the frankincense, the sandalwood, right? The myrrh. You're going to have all these different herbs, these different oils that the earth produces, man. The smells of the scent at its full strength, man. Out here, you don't smell shit. You're just breathing. You're supposed to be breathing in the savoriness of the earth. You don't have that out here, man. You know? But that young man, he was like, even the servants in my father's house have enough to eat. That's why King David said, I'd rather be a doorkeeper in my father's house. And it's true. You know? But some guys, they want to be on top. They always want to be on top. They want to be seen of men. You know? You can't be like that, man. It's like that. Even the apostle asked her, who's going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? The Lord was like, oh man, if you don't come as a child, you know, in great humbleness, he's the one that is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So you gotta, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself is. Right? So I'm gonna pull out this one I had set up in the book of Sirach. It says, let's see, Khan right here. This is Sirach chapter 6 verse 32. It says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. See, if you wilt, right, you shall be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow down, or if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. So you have to be obedient, disciplined, in order to receive this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Spirit. Because if you're a stubborn, impudent person, the Lord ain't gonna deal with you. If you're full of maliciousness, the Spirit ain't gonna go into you. You ain't gonna hear this thing and be able to see it. Even though you're seeing it physically with your carnal eyes, or hearing it with your carnal understanding, but to receive it spiritually or see it spiritually, you won't. Because to see spiritually or to hear spiritually, you're gonna automatically receive it through the Spirit, and you're gonna walk with it. It's gonna get a hold on you. Okay, because being carnally minded, right, seeing, hearing, is that the tangible things of the earth is what got your attention. You see, it says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. See, so you have to stand in the multitude of the elders and the man that are wise, man. You know, that's your example. We are your example, brothers, you younger brothers, man, to continue in the faith, fight, like Paul said, fight the good fight of faith. You know, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. You know. It says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. You see, and a lot of guys that don't want to do that. Ah, man, I ain't gonna bow. I ain't gonna, you know, become no servant to no man. I ain't gonna bow down to no man. I ain't gonna honor no other men. I'm only gonna honor God. You got guys that are actually like that, man. There's a guy in my city that heard this truth, and he's bugged the fuck out, man. He's bugged out, and he has that mentality. He heard this truth, man. He's gone, man. Now he believes that the Illuminati's chasing after him. A friend of mine in Midland had to go to Lubbock and pick his ass up because he's wandering out there in Lubbock, telling him that people are chasing him. They're after him. And this is a man that heard this truth when I first came in, man. And he was by far the worst one that ever bucked up as far as like basically, well, I mean, you had ones that bucked up, but the Lord destroyed their ass, or you know, but he this is different, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess I could say that he's one of by far the worst ones that bucked up, because the Lord is putting hell on him, man. You know, those demons, they took hold of him. This guy that I knew, if you brothers knew, you'll be like, damn, how did he get to that state, man? What did he do? Why? And I know why, because he bucked up against the truth. But that's where he's at to this very day, man. He's gone. You know? And for me, it's sad to see, because he was a friend of mine, you know? But he let those demons get him, man. And he has that attitude. He's like, you know, I ain't gonna bow down to you. I ain't gonna listen to you. You don't know what you're talking about. He was saying that kind of shit, man. Some things he may not have said verbally in my face, but I know he said it when he was alone. Because there's certain things that I did here that he was blaming me for. And I didn't do shit. All I did was speak the truth. I told him what it was, and, you know, he told me one time that when I was preaching, that he felt a sharp, like something go like this across his head. That was because he got cut. And us brothers, we all talk about that, man. You know? It's not because of me, what I did. It's because of what the Spirit did. And what he didn't humble himself, man. You know, that's why I said, you younger men, you know, submit yourself to the elders, man. That's why brothers are real heavy about order. I'm heavy about I'm very heavy about that shit. If you don't fall in line, man, if we can walk, that's how the scriptures say, can walk two, least they be can two walk, least they be agreed. Right? So what does that agreeing has to start with? Order. Following instructions. I mean, if you can't fall into that, you can't get into that order or follow those instructions, there's going to be problems, man. You know? Order is very important. Every organization, every type of thing you get yourself involved in, where there's more than, you know, a lot of people that are involved, there's order. There has to be. It can't just be all anarchy and chaos, man. That's how Esau and these bug outs, these fucking morons work. You know, that's why they get dropped. They get put out real quick, punked. When you have a small unit and y'all are in order, like the 300 in the movie 300 with Leonidas, There were 300 men that went up a whole damn empire, you know, a war machine, a beast that compiled with different nations of men that had different talents and different of techniques of war, and they overcame them. Basically, pretty much they did. Even though they died at the end, they still gave them a fight for their damn life, man. Showed them that if you had order and technique, right, order and follow instructions, you are a strong unit, man. You cannot be fucked with. You cannot be dealt with, man. Okay, like the Maccabees. Same thing with the Maccabees, man. If you can't follow order, there's gonna be problems. That goes from the top all the way down to the least of the brothers. That's I'm talking about. The top head will tell you, will tell you what I'm saying is the truth, and you'll have the same problems with them. You know, but I'm not saying that there's you can talk about it, get through it, and things like that. You know. I'm not saying that it's automatically gonna fall into that, but some brothers they're just fed up with the bullshit, the games, you know, especially brothers that have been in this thing for a while. You know, they're gonna be a little bit more sharper, you know, and tell you to either you're gonna get on board, or just get the fuck out, stand on the other side of the thing, stay where you're at, you know, and. You know, if you want to, if you're serious minded, you're gonna keep coming out when we come out, or when I come out. But once you start veering out of that, you know, more or less we got our answer is that you were never in it, you know. The order is very important. So we continue to read in Sirach 6:35. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. See? So you have to let your steps wear the let thy foot wear the step of his door, man. It says, get thee betimes unto him. You better follow him. You better stick with him. Okay, because that's who is going to teach you. You know, that's who you're going to learn under. But you have to come with the right intentions, the right heart, man. But even if you don't, the Lord had it set up that way, and it's fine, because he just, you know, this word is either going to destroy you or save you. Whether people listen to it or they come and for a little bit listen and they fall out, they're still going to have the same effect. Still going to be either life or death effects, man. You know, it's either going to be a life and death situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens, man. When people try to be sneaky, the Most High makes things happen, man. Break your leg, you know. People think they're slick over here in 2019. You ain't slick. This damn Edomite lady, she was taking pictures of me. She thought she was slick. And once I looked up, she almost, there's a thing in the concrete right here on the sidewalk. Her ankle, you know, she almost twisted her ankle. And she knew I was looking at her. She wanted to look up, but she was putting her phone up. Goddamn devils. People think they're fucking slick, man. The Most High sees everything that you're doing, man. You know? But it's fine, because that bitch marked herself. She's gonna get her ass destroyed, man. You know? People think it's a goddamn game. And that's where the Most High tells us that he knew men's heart, man. The Most High has given us a certain spirit to know and to know these people, man. You know? Some people be like, nah, you're tripping, you don't know, you're just paranoid. Nah, motherfucker, I know. We know, us brothers know. The Lord gives us a spirit of discernment, man. It ain't hard if you pay attention. You know? It's like the scriptures say, all you hypocrites, you're able to discern the seasons, but you're not able to discern the times. You know, when winter comes, summer comes, but you can't discern the end times, the times of my return. It says, Sirach 6:37, let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thy heart and give thee wisdom at thy own desire.
Proverbs 12:1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish.
Okay? So you have to love instruction. You know?
He whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish.
Okay?
This is Proverbs 22:17. Bow down thine ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart and my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips, that thy trust may be in the Lord. I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. Have not I written to thee excellent things and counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee?
See? Because that goes into feeding the flock, or convincing the gainsayer, or converting the sinner. You know?
Going back to 1 Peter 5:5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For the Most High resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
See? That's why it's very important to follow instructions, man. You know? Follow the instructions of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Just like you have men that don't want to listen to their parents, their fathers, you know. That's why you read the book of Proverbs, the first few chapters, it talks about that. Oh, ye children, man. Listen to the words of your father. Listen to the words of your mother. You know, those are instructions, man. Honor thy father and thy mother, man, that thou mayest have a long life on the earth. Instructions is very important, man, and vital. We have to have that in order to feed the flock. You know? You have to feed the sheep of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time. See? So in order to be exalted or to be rewarded, you have to labor, man. You have to feed the flock. You have to preach. You have to prophesy, rebuke with all long suffering. You know, receive instruction, instructing those that oppose themselves against the gospel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You have to do all that, man. Nothing done in partiality. Everything has to be done in its fullest, fulfilling the whole spectrum of being man of the Lord, man. You know, this thing is very, very important, man. Okay. I'm going to go back and finish up in 2 Thessalonians 3:8. Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you. Not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us. See? It's plain. You know? Paul said it too. You know, Paul, what? Let me bring it out. Corinthians, I believe. This is 1 Corinthians 11:1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I would have you that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahweh Shai Mashiach is the Most High, Yahweh. See? So we have steps, we have examples on to follow, man. You know. For 2 Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any should not work, neither should he eat. See? So you have to labor, man. You have to do what was set before you as the example. You know? For we hear there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. You see? What does that sound like? That these men, they're not listening to the men that are set over them. They're just doing their own damn thing. They're doing their own, fulfilling their own lusts. But at the same time want to sit at the same table as brothers, man. You know? That's why it goes in to this. This is 2 Peter chapter 2. Second Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh and the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. You know? Like I was saying, they don't want to receive instruction. They want to walk disorderly, right? And walking disorderly means you're out there causing a ruckus and disturbing the peace, shit like that. That's not what it's talking about. It's just you not walking according to what has been, the tradition has been set before you. You thinking that you can do whatever the hell you want, man. You know? Or being a respecter of persons. Oh, I'm not going to listen to you, but I'm going to listen to these brothers. That right there is already, that's a sign of stubbornness. And we all know what stubbornness is. It's a form of idolatry, man. Idol worship. So you only want to stand up and do what you're supposed to be doing whenever a certain brother's telling you. But when it comes to a brother that you don't feel that it fits that thing, you don't want to listen to it. So brothers that have those type of men that see that spirit, that's the spirit of idolatry, man. The scriptures say that we are subject to one another. I just read it. But that you younger men be subject unto the elder. Okay? But at the end of the day, we're all subject to one another. Meaning that we all, the Spirit of the Lord works through us all. It's the same Spirit. You know? So we all have to take heed to one another. And to walk orderly. Not in disorderly. Okay? Like I said, it doesn't mean that you're out there causing trouble or nothing like that. It's you not taking instruction. You're not falling in line with the rest of the body. Okay? 2 Peter 2:11, whereas angels which are greater in power and might bring not railing accusations against them before the Lord. But these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not. They shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots they are and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Like I said, they want to be walking disorderly, but at the same time still eating at the same table as the brothers. But they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not following instructions. You know? These are brute beasts, man. Sporting themselves. Okay? Meaning thinking this thing is a game, man. This is not a game. This is a serious thing, man. You know? Like brothers, we coined this thing as this is more worse than the mob, man. Than being part of the mafia. Because you're dealing with the power that cannot be seen or touched. And he could drop that dime on you anytime, man. He could pull your card anytime that he wants. You know?
It's not by us men. We're not doing nothing. It's all through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that is more deadlier than any kind of mafia or cartel or anything like that. It's Yahushai. He's a what does it say that he created evil and darkness, right? Or he created good and evil in Isaiah chapter 45. The Lord doeth all these things, man. So he raises up. He has the power to either make you alive or put you down in where he puts you to death. That's the kind of power that we serve, man. That's who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus. You know, these self-proclaimed Christians that don't even know what it really means to be a Christian, you know, they think they know who they serve, man. But they serve, really they know who they serve. They serve a universal God, which is a white Jesus, okay? Which is really a man that was set up by Alexander the Pope during the Renaissance period, okay? Which that was his son, Caesar Borgia, okay? That's who they serve. They serve a universal power because the white Jesus tells them to love everybody. And the Bible don't tell us to love everybody. And if it does reference that, it's talking about the brotherhood, the ones that have the same faith, the household of faith, okay? The ones that believe in the same thing. Not everybody, not no homosexuals or people that are pedophiles, bestiality, whores and whoremongers. That's not what the Lord is talking about in the Bible, man. Okay, so that's the misconception that people have on when it comes to reading the Bible. You know, they've been bewitched, they've been deceived, or they stumble at the word because they don't have the ability to understand it. 2 Peter 2:14, having eyes full of adultery and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart they have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bozar, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. See, that's disorderly, right? What is the word? What is the word? Profane, right? People say, "Why are you cussing?" Da da da. But they don't know what the Bible's really talking about. The word profane is to be outside of the temple, man. To curse somebody is you're wishing death on them, not just merely calling them a name. See? So that's what it is, man. You know, they're following after that kind of spirit. They're not following the spirit of being proactive as far as in righteousness, or being you know, the ability or the mindset to exert in the office that the Most High has given you, or to flip that talent that the Most High has given you. You know, as we know about the 10 talents, the 5 talents and the 1 talent, and the 1 talent that he hid under a napkin, right? And then he didn't. The man came back to receive the increase, and the man that had that 1 talent, he was ostracized, man. He was rebuked.